right about like month number 5 or number 6, when you start seeing those changes, people are going to start noticing those changes in you at the gym too, and they're going to start asking you to work out in the gym. Respectfully, the answer is no. Um, Hi everybody, I'm Khari. I'm 28. I live in DC. I started training with Perry in January. I was less than satisfied with the percentage of body fat that I had in my body. I was really struggling with recovering from the COVID pandemic and returning to society and fitting into clothes that I wanted to be seen in outside of my house. Um, and I trained with Perry in the previous year, so I was really confident in his ability to help me get back on track. So some of the goals I had were I wanted to reestablish my relationship with the gym. In the 8 months that had lapsed between my first training sessions with Perry and my second attempt, in that time of 8 months, I'd gained about like 20 pounds. I work from home, so it was really easy for me to stress eat, be seated all day. And, all of these things were things that I communicated to Perry when I signed up. So I was really explicit about letting him know that I wanted to, just reestablish myself in the gym, like have more confidence with, navigating that space. Even though I was, I'm pretty familiar with being in the gym, I hadn't been there consistently in a long time. I also wanted to establish, a healthier relationship with food. So getting out of the habit of saying things like, because I ate this, I'm going to punish myself in the gym by doing this. And I no longer do any of that. Perry also made me really comfortable with having a sustainable meal plan. I think I'm getting away from using the word diet. And it made me comfortable because one of my goals was to lose weight. And so I had to maintain a caloric deficit. So it wasn't about not eating certain things. It was about being mindful about the things that I ate. So I didn't, although, you can't lose weight without deciding that certain foods are detrimental to your goals. I didn't stop eating certain things. I just regulated the things that I ate that were not conducive to my expressed goals. So, I might have had like a handful of Brussels sprouts for lunch. Maybe I had like, a snickerdoodle or two for a snack. But I still made sure that I had, like 3 or 4 eggs for breakfast, a protein shake, turkey bacon. I was still able to eat things that I kept in my house regularly and make room for the things that I like to indulge in because I'm working really hard. I'm a full-time employee. I'm transitioning into business school, so it's hard sometimes to be 100% accurate. But with Perry's guidance and a lot, with my newfound healthy relationship with food, I know what to order when I go to a restaurant now, so that I can confidently look at a menu, assess what things have, the macros or what's high in protein, what's something that gives, and I have it on my phone. Like these are digital things that Perry provided me, so that when in doubt, I just whip out the PDF and I look at certain things and like what I want to make sure I see on my plate so that I can eat out, enjoy myself. And also for the people, one thing that Perry was also really helpful for anyone thinking that, you are a seasoned veteran in the gym and you're looking to shake things up in the gym and you're looking to, maybe you are in really good shape, but you want to like work on, build your confidence with doing things like deadlifting. Like when I first signed up with Perry, I thought of myself not as a novice. Like I wasn't a beginner in the gym. I'd been in the gym for a long time. I knew my way. I didn't have to look at a lot of the machines to learn how to use them, but I'm not a natural born athlete. So doing things like deadlifting and, Romanian deadlifts, they weren't regular to me. And I wanted to make myself more confident in doing them. Perry's your guy for that kind of thing too. I think he has a knack for building confidence. He's very accessible. I really like, once again, I'm in DC and he's in California. And, it for anyone who's, trepidatious about working with someone that they don't have immediate access to, I think you have to be motivated intrinsically. I really think that that's key. For anyone who's on the fence, if you're on the fence because you don't have physical access to Perry, I think that's a good reason. I'm not saying that it's not a good reason, but what I am saying is Perry makes himself very accessible. He is responsive, even though we're in totally different time zones. Um, and I really appreciate that more often than not, Perry had to reach out to me to maintain our relationship. So I was probably one of the lesser engaged of Perry's clients at the time. But for anyone who's not immediately accessible, this is a really good example of what it looks like for you to get the most out of what you put in. Like if you are signing up to build this relationship, build your physique, and you are committed to getting in the gym, it shouldn't matter that he's across the continent, because what you're committing to is yourself. You're going to pay the money anyway. You're going to get the results. It's worth it. And if you don't think it's worth it, open your Instagram app, go to the Iron Mentality Fitness, and then just look at the picture. Just look at the picture and then pay that money, because if you're consistent and you adhere to the, recommendation that Perry's going to give you, it's worth it. I did it 2 times in under a year and a half. It's definitely worth it. Do it.
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the whole goal with it is just to be put on the path of least resistance. But ultimately, like to your point, it doesn't matter what perfect plan is right in front of you. Like, ultimately, I can't lift up the weight for you as much as I would. But there is some aspect of intrinsic motivation that goes into it. And obviously, like, that's something that we paid attention to as you're kind of ramping up back into things, is like, what is that deep burning why? Like when things inevitably get tough, when motivation inevitably runs out, like what is going to get you through that? And I mean, again, you've absolutely just demolished it, man. You've done such a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And
I trying to think if there's anything else I want to make sure people know, because I really think it's worth the investment.
What were you going to do if you didn't sign up?
Oh, get fat and be depressed and die. I literally was just I will stand firm and say I am a character, but my vanity is something I just can't step aside. I am not myself when I do not feel attractive. I was not feeling, I felt that my motivation was off. I knew I didn't feel like my confident self. And I felt myself, I was getting really depressed, and I think I was depressed because I could see the difference in the person that I was, before and now. So what would I have done? I don't know. I was looking at other places, at other places to train, especially places that were local, places that were in group settings. So as to take the focus off of me, because I was feeling self-conscious. I was looking, but I really had to be more introspective and ask myself, like, what are my problems? Like, I really want to reestablish my relationship with the gym so that it's something I can sustain, in the absence of a coach. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I started going to like fitness classes in a room full of 30 people, because that means I would have been dependent on that room full of people rather than the intrinsic motivation of myself. Also, in those larger classes, there's a little bit less of an individualistic focus. So you even if you brought a pen and paper, that pen and paper isn't going to have notes that are to you. And also, the facts are the facts. I'm not a group ass bitch. Like, I'm not a groupie. Like, I like to work out. Like, I like to work out by myself. Even when people ask me, when when you're working out, when you're following the plan with Perry and you're doing the things and you're committed, right about like month number 5 or number 6, when you start seeing those changes, people are going to start noticing those changes in you at the gym too, and they're going to start asking you to work out in the gym. Respectfully, the answer is no. And not because
dialed in.
Not because I'm a mean girl. Like, that's my me time. And I knew that if I was going to be able to, if I wanted to sustain that, I had to be comfortable in that space by myself. And I want to point out that if at any point I was less engaged, meaning less, I'm not a texter, I'm not reaching out texting you or anything like that, I want you to consider that a testament to just how comfortable I got with Miss New Body. And it had nothing to do with being less engaged with the program. It had everything to do with feeling like I don't need to be in Perry's back pocket because going to the gym feels like habitual. I don't need to be in Perry's back pocket right now because one thing I do know is when I walk by that mirror, the body is bodying. And like I that's what I wanted to say. Not that it was like as time progressed, I got more interested. As I got more confident and as I felt more capable, I felt less needy.
Mm-hmm.
So I want that to speak to your achievements as my trainer.